Meet Lilly. This is a story of how she ended up with a deformed wing. Every year I grow a lot of milkweed for the monarchs, and I check the milkweed daily for new eggs and tiny caterpillars. When I find them, I move them into the butterfly cage, where they're protected from predators that can harm them, and they stay in the butterfly cage until they turn into butterflies, and then I release them. When I found Lilly, she was already about this size. With so much milkweed, it's hard to find all the caterpillars when they're little. When I found her, she had some damage to one of her antennas, where I'm assuming something tried to take a bite of her, but it didn't look like that big of a deal at the time. So I moved her into the butterfly cage and just kept an eye on her. It wasn't until her last instar that I was able to see she had quite a bit of scar tissue and her antenna was completely missing. And I hoped this wouldn't have a serious effect on her in the long run, since when they turn into caterpillars, they basically turn into a bag of goo in their chrysalis to become a butterfly. So I was hoping her injury wouldn't matter. It was finally time for her to turn into a chrysalis, and right away I noticed there was a problem with how it formed. The first few days of their chrysalises, they should be completely green. In hers, you could definitely see a wing outline that's darker, and that side of the chrysalis had a little bit of a dent in it. So at this point, I wasn't even sure if she would survive the stage to become a butterfly. After checking on her every day, it finally looked like it was time for her to emerge. They start turning dark about 24 hours before they emerge, so I knew it was close. Normally, if the weather is warm enough, they emerge early in the morning, and if the weather is cooler, they'll wait until early afternoon. But after watching her all day, she still hadn't emerged. And because it was so late in the day and it was going to be a chilly night, I made the decision to move her inside. And about 5 minutes after I got her all set up with her butterfly cage, she decided it was time to come out. And I was really hoping, despite all of the warning signs, that her wings would inflate properly and that she would just be a normal, healthy butterfly. And after about 15 minutes, it was clear that one of her wings was not going to inflate all the way, meaning she would never be able to fly. Other than her tiny wing and not being able to fly, she is a very happy and healthy butterfly. So I will be keeping Lilly as a pet since she can't be out in the wild. A couple years ago, I had something similar happen to a butterfly whose wings didn't fully inflate and he wasn't able to fly. So I ended up keeping him as a pet. And if you want to see his story, I'll link that down below. And despite the fact that they're only supposed to live 2 to 6 weeks, Frank ended up living for 5 months, which is incredible. And I don't expect Lilly to live that long, but I will do everything that I can to make sure that she has a happy, healthy, enriched life, just like Frank did. I am always learning new things about them, but I never would have thought that it was possible for an injury as a caterpillar to carry over to a deformity as a butterfly. Monarchs are now endangered and need our help more than ever. If you live in North America and you have any space outside, a yard or a balcony where you can plant and grow native milkweed and flowers that will attract and feed them, then I encourage you to do that. And also be very mindful about the chemicals that you're spraying in your yard, especially pesticides. Pollinators like butterflies and bees are so vulnerable to the sprays that we use in our yards. And I will leave links below to Monarch sources that have good information on how you can get involved and help out these amazing pollinators. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.